The
This is common
question
words dictation.
of the
So first one,
participation of
practice it and then
students
dictate it.
in politics has always evoked a lot of discussion. It has been a very controversial subject to contrasting opinions have been expressed by the two groups of people. Both the groups are equally convinced of the merits of their cases. The discussion goes on between the students, teachers, politicians, and other well wishers of the student community. In spite of their best efforts, no satisfactory or convincing solution has so far been found out. Those who oppose the participation of students in politics put up a strong case. They argue that politics is a dirty game. It creates groups and parties and leads to permanent enmities. It disturbs the peace of mind of the students. The primary duty of a student is to pay single minded attention to his studies. He is supposed to lead a life of penance or tapasya. He cannot and should not afford to take part in the luxury of politics. Politics causes a great interference in the studies of the students. Interest in politics leads a student to an active participation in strikes, demonstration, and processions. At times, it brings him into serious clash with the college authorities or the police. Maybe he lands himself in jail. All this disrupts his studies and he is pushed off the rails. He loses his real purpose in life and goes astray. Participation in politics thus spoils a student's career and makes him useless for any purpose other than strikes, demonstrations, and slogan shouting. Those who support the participation of students in politics make out an equally strong case. They argue that education does not mean word literacy, it means a total and all round development of personality. Participation in politics leads to harmonized development of a student's personality. It makes him aware of what is happening in his country and in the world around him. It also develops in him the qualities of leadership. Instead of being a timid, shy bookworm, he grows into an aggressive, dominating, and alert young man who knows how to fight the battle of life. Some people are of the opinion that students can really change the shape of things in the country. The old generation has miserably failed to deliver the goods. Rampant corruption and unprincipled politics have brought the country to the brink of disaster. Why should the students not rise to the occasion to stem the rot? They have given a lead in several countries and have proved to be the harbingers of revolutions. They can certainly bring change in the sad state of affairs prevailing in the country at present. Participation in politics trains a student to be a good citizen. It gives him training in the democratic way of life. He grows into a responsible and cultured citizen who is an asset to the nation. It creates in him a sense of patriotism. He knows his duties towards his country. He has a fair knowledge of the affairs of the world. He develops a debating skill and he can always put forward his point of view with force and conviction. He develops all the qualities of head and heart. He is trained for leadership. As a leader in the making, he develops such qualities as courage, sincerity of purpose, a spirit of service, sympathy for the fellow man, self discipline, and a devotion to duty. Student period is the formative period in his life. A student must develop all such qualities in him during this period as enable him to lead a successful life. If he kept totally away from politics, he is likely to grow into a lopsided personality. If he study the lives of our great leaders, we shall find that most of them did take an active part in politics even during their student days. Now it is difficult to pronounce any verdict in favor of one or the other point of view. The golden mean would probably be the best way out. A student should take part in politics, but it should not be an active participation. All activities are good if one remains within reasonable limits. Students should therefore pay primary attention to their studies. They should at the same time keep themselves informed about what is happening around them. They should not hesitate from jumping into politics if the situation threatens the unity and the freedom of the country. Several functions are held in every college, but the annual prize distribution function has its own place in the academic life of the college. Good students have an eye on this function all through the year and they wait for it very eagerly. It is this function that motivates the students to do their best in the fields of academics, sports, and other curricular activities. It encourages a healthy spirit of competition amongst the students and makes them put up their best in the various fields of the college life. As usual, our prize distribution function was held this year in the month of March. The education minister of the state was the chief guest. The college hall was tastefully decorated. The parents of the prize winners and the elite of the city had been invited. The chief guest arrived punctually at 3:30 p.m. He was accorded a warm welcome by the students' union and the staff. After the formal introduction was over, the academic procession entered the hall. All the students and the guests stood up. They sat down after the chief guest had occupied his seat on the stage. The principal welcomed the chief guest and presented the college annual report. In his report, he highlighted the achievements of the college in the fields of sports, studies, and co curricular activities. After the speech, the principal requested the chief guest to give away the prize. I was one of the prize winners. As I went to the stage,
This is common words dictation. So first one, practice it and then dictate it.